deep sea in the grays, our create balance. Thoughts split the sea, no extreme. In a world of black and white, we seek the blend. Understanding both sides, let the truth transcend. Stay in the gray where perspectives intertwine. We seek the truth in the gray we define. In this podcast journey, minds open wide. Shades the truth on this impartial ride. A long time ago we started stumbling. Feels like this country's crumbling. The government is fumbling. A Congress that is bumbling. Sides are always arguing. They all could use some humbling. And stop the world from tumbling. Rebuild the trust is plummeting. If ideas would start bubbling, our efforts could be doubling. And chaos would start slumbering. And people resume huddling. And talk about the trouble and concerns we're always juggling. Cooperate while snuggling. And quit the useless struggling.
Hey Trey, hey everybody, hey, how's it going?
I think he gets me every time when he goes, yo.
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 I had to get that real fast because you like to cut me off with your headlines, and so I was like, hey everybody, real fast. I'm glad I hope everybody's
Cut me off for everything else.
I hope everybody's doing well.
Dick.
Things are good over on this end, I think, right Trey?
So you're going to make me do the headline first?
Well, in a minute, but I'm going to tell you something I heard that was really funny just a minute ago.
We'll get to it, goddammit.
Are you challenging me on time again?
Always.
I heard something, speaking of Kamala Harris. Don't worry, tonight's show has very little politics.
Thank God.
Trey's not a fan. He's still, he's waiting for his moment. He's waiting for the debate. He's waiting for somebody to...
Speaking of debate, is, what's his name, Robert Kennedy Jr.? Is he going to be part of the debate?
I don't think they're letting him do it.
Why not?
He didn't have enough something. There's something.
Oh, okay.
He had to get something, and he didn't do it.
Well, damn it.
I know. That would be cool, because he's kind of fun.
It'd just be interesting.
Yeah. Well, like back in the day, Ross Perot back in the day, that was fun. There were three of them up there, and it was good. But Kamala Harris, there was a thing today. She said the following. Tell me if you think this.
Is this allegedly, or is this
no?
legit?
This is her saying it.
Okay.
She said, "I will fix things. I will fix the things that are wrong with this country if you vote me into office." Says the woman who is currently in office.
Yeah.
You hear that?
I've seen a lot of the stuff as far as when she mentions the no tax on tips and stuff like that. And they're like,
which was Trump's, by the way.
You're in office right now. Why can't you do that?
Yeah. Why wait till day one? So, which we'll get to some of that because that's kind of part of the issue. Is anyway. Let's go to your headline because cool. I just thought it was kind of funny, and that's our politics talk for tonight.
I don't know if this would work for you just because I know your in-laws and I know how cool they are.
They're pretty cool.
So maybe it'll work for Olivia.
You don't like my parents?
I'm just messing with you.
Not like they listen.
So this headline is: a husband says he left family behind on European vacation because his mother-in-law used his toothpaste.
I like it because,
and of course,
there has to be more to it.
Yeah, and that's kind of all the comments is like it had to be something before the toothpaste. That was just the final straw, right?
Was she not? Did she not give him? Was she not good at blowing him? Or
well, I was gonna go more so as you're probably getting a lot of parenting advice from the mother-in-law, or financial advice, or
something set him off.
Some kind of advice that finally was over and over.
That's
and
my
over.
Colgate, bitch.
Maybe the trip was not planned to her liking, and then found out she's brushing her teeth with his fucking Colgate, and was like, "Fuck that."
Yeah.
You think Colgate will sponsor us now since we mentioned Colgate?
Maybe, or Crest, or let's just go through them all, and whoever
sends us the biggest money, biggest check,
or any money.
So yeah.
That's funny. I like that. So, toothpaste.
That was the final straw. Like, what happens if you walk in, your father-in-law's borrowing a pair of underwear? Would that be a last straw for you?
No, I don't know.
You'd be okay with him wearing your underwear?
Not really, but I don't know if it'd be a final straw. It'd be weird.
Just weird?
Yeah. I don't know. I have to think about fun. That'd be a fun episode, like fun
final
segment.
Straw?
Just final straws for different people in the world.
I've always been good with in-laws. So,
yeah,
in-laws
You've had a lot of them.
It was just their daughters that didn't like me.
You had a lot of in-laws. They're all out there. You had a whole
in-laws
group.
Liked me, but just the daughter didn't.
Well, maybe you should focus on that in your next couple marriages.
Right. Shut up.
Let's do but her comments. Last week, I think was last week when I just said fuck it, we're not doing it.
I think it was.
Well, this week I put up a video on TikTok of a young lady, and I was trying to get her picture up for everybody that can see this. And I'm not going to lie to you, Trey. She's super hot. Like my wife, she didn't give a shit if I say this. She didn't care. She knows I'm locked down.
Locked down.
This young lady is super hot, and she's probably in her mid-20s. She's in her car, like a lot of people do these days, and she's doing a video. And on the video, she's basically saying really fast, why are we voting for Kamala Harris? No one's giving me an answer. All I'm hearing is women are voting because she's a woman. Black people are voting because she's black. Again, we've established she's 25% black. And she just went off. But this set, it must be some algorithm that got to the other side. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it was I don't know what happened, but everybody just went off. This girl's this girl that. One guy said, you know what, she thinks she's all that. And you look at some of their pictures, you're like, all right, dude, she wouldn't look your way, but that's not the point. The point is everybody just went off on her. I had a couple of people that, of course, were in agreement with her, but I wanted to mention it. And so there's another girl, and she's kind of hot too. So I'd like to see them debate, that posted this. And this isn't that butthurt. She ends it with butthurt, and that's her problem. She did what I asked everybody else to do, which is give me the reasons then.
Right.
I'm seeing blacks for Kamala, women for Kamala, even white dudes for Kamala. They're like segregating these groups for Kamala for reasons other than policy. So tell me why you're voting for her other than those reasons. Well, finally, this girl, hot girl, gives me some reasons. Real quick, she helped pass the bipartisan infrastructure bill. Well, that's great. That's what she should be doing. I have no problem with that. We all want better infrastructure. Great. What does that make her? Does Donald want? Is he against good infrastructure? No. Anyway, the Chips and Science Act. This one was kind of weird, and it was. I tried to read it, and my head exploded because it's all in code and different things. But it's just again, it's all the PACT Act, the Inflation Reduction Act, and some of these, like the PACT Act and the Inflation Act.
Are these all recent things that she's done, or?
Well, it's not even her. It's like the Biden administration. It's not her per se.
It's within the last 4 years.
This is their administration is what they're claiming, and I don't. If you don't think that we should be spending $369 billion on climate change, then you're not. Then the Inflation Reduction Act doesn't matter to me. If I think. And I've said it before, climate change, fine, let's research it. But that's a lot of money. That's almost as much as we've given Zelensky. The largest investment in renewable energy. Not everybody agrees on renewable energy. So you're giving me these things, and that's great. And then lastly, she said there was a $35 cap on insulin, which is bullshit because my wife is a type 1 diabetic, and that's debunked. So...
I mean, it's more than that?
It's not a cap. They haven't established that. They claim that they have, but there's more to it. It's not as, which is probably the way it's going to be. Not as cut and dry. So she did all these things. Great. And okay, I asked you. I don't agree with all of them, but you gave me your thing. So I responded, believe it or not. And I said, that's great. I looked up her track record, and there's some things I didn't like, and I think her skeletons are going to come out, and I don't think that these things are that great. Then she went right at Donald. So it's almost like you can't just stay behind your candidate. You've got to attack the other one, like you always say. Mm-hmm. She's not a 34-time convicted felon, sex offender, and a well-documented liar. What is a well-documented liar?
A politician.
Well, any politician. Right?
Right.
But what is well documented? I mean, is there like literally a document in the government that states Donald Trump is a liar?
Is she just saying there's many?
She's just saying that she thinks he's a liar, and that's fine. And I'm sure he's embellished things, which I'm not sure. I am sure. Of course he has. They all do. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry.
I mean, and you have to really embellish, don't you? If you're a politician trying to get people on your side and lead people, you kind of embellish some things because in 4 years, in most cases, how much of a difference can you make? You can probably start that difference, but then by the time it gets going, well, then somebody else is coming into office. And they're changing it or tweaking it or whatever. So I don't know. That's
the problem is you going on one thing and some people are excited to halt it and change it. But then you get to the end of that and then those things are halted. So nothing gets, it's a bunch of unfinished business, if you will. And so, the 34-time convicted felon thing, we've talked about this. It's the same thing. It's just the different payment amounts forged to an attorney.
Well, it may be bullshit, but it's still a conviction, right?
It is. You're right. That's fine. But sex offender has not been convicted for that. So
they're alleging he was a sex offender.
She is saying allegedly, and that's fine. And it's because all these women came out, and I get it. But so the butthurt comment was more that I'm giving people an example of what they should do versus somebody who says this chick understands nothing. You can tell she's kept in the dark and brainwashed by the cult of Trump and Fox News. Nothing she said is relevant and she's missing so many facts. Well, that's not true. And I would argue with that. So that's a butthurt comment. The one before that, at least she tried.
Right.
That's my point. And this guy has a picture of a robot on his.
That's cool.
And the other girl was super hot, so I'm gonna go with her
because she had her picture.
She had her picture. So that's butter comments for the week. They're gonna get better, people. Trust me. I haven't had a chance to run through all of them, but they will get better.
Because all of them are super positive.
Yeah, we do get a lot of positive, which is great. But there are some that it's just. Like that last one I read. That's all it's about. You don't know facts. Trump, dumbass. Okay, well, that was... You got me there. And then, unfortunately, I respond back with, you dumbass. And I'm working on that.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah. A friend of the show told me today that I should quit calling people names on social media.
I thought I've been telling you that, too.
Well, maybe I need two friends.
It takes him to tell you that?
No, maybe I need two friends to tell me that, combined. Maybe I need an intervention. A social media intervention where I calm down.
That could be interesting.
Yeah. And I think probably we'd have a third if the gentleman I spoke to today as well.
Yeah.
Would probably agree. How about we do some news?
All right.
Okay. Everybody's excited for news, Trey. All right? They're cheering. And it also gives me a chance to take a sip of scotch. I'm going to start tonight's news. I've got some good ones tonight, I think. I always say that, and then at the end I'm like, those sucked. The first one, I have notes.
You have notes.
The internet. This is old school.
Yeah. Hopefully you can read them.
Yeah. Let's go back to Hurricane Debbie. We remember Hurricane Debbie?
Yes. Up in the Northeast, right?
Well, it started in Florida and the Keys and all that. Remember they dumped all the cocaine.
That's right.
Not Coca-Cola.
Cocaine.
And then it made its way up the coast.
Gotcha.
She made her way, Debbie, up the coast. Bitch. And now people are cleaning up the beaches from all the debris. And this woman, Suzanne Flamant Smith, another hyphenated, just take the husband's name. Yeah, Florida.
Okay.
All right. She's out of Tampa. She was picking up trash from the thing. And she found a big bottle. And it's one of those that you always hear about, and it's pretty cool. And she said she saw sand, but also a scroll rolled up.
Oh.
Beautiful penmanship. And you could see that through the sand already because of the way it was rolled up.
Interesting.
There was sand, a coffee stick. I don't know where the coffee stick is. Do you?
Where you stir your coffee, maybe?
I don't know. Maybe.
It's the only thing. I don't drink coffee, so.
But why would someone put that in the bottle?
Maybe they were trying to push the scroll in and it fell.
There's a bullet casing.
Of course, yeah.
And a mini cannonball. I don't know how big this bottle was, but it was a miniature cannonball.
A miniature cannonball.
This all makes sense.
How they know it wasn't just a marble?
This, by the way, that she said most of the letter was very faded because this was dated March 4th, 1945.
Okay, cool.
So it was World War II, and it was letterhead from the U.S. Navy training base in Little Creek, Virginia. And what they got out of it was it said, "Dear Lee." I started thinking about Civil War. I'm like, General Lee, like back in the day. "Dear Lee, we received your letter yesterday and was happy to hear from you. After that, it got foggy. It could have been to a Chris or a Jim." How do you...
That is interesting.
How do you...
They're spelled exactly
the
same.
Okay.
Same letters, everything.
And they said they couldn't quite get much out of it, but it was... They were talking about something, and they all they saw was, "I'll write you again tomorrow." And they didn't... The signature was messed up.
Aww.
I know. And the story sucks because there's not a good ending, but that's so cool. Like, I always... Like, where the fuck has that bottle been?
Yeah.
So this lady's been saying she and her husband sit there with this bottle at night going, all the story, like, was it thrown over? Like, was it somebody that just hoped it would get there? Like, was there a...
Was it in somebody's house displayed that got destroyed by Debbie?
Yeah. Yeah. Debbie. Yeah. Was it on, like, the mantle? And is that sand ash of like, somebody?
Uncle Bertie?
Yeah.
Bernie?
You start thinking about it. Well... Apparently, the Little Creek Naval Training Base has 800 bottles with that stamp on it that they're doing research on to try and find the writers.
Gotcha.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
That is interesting.
My new note things don't flip very easily, but we're gonna do our best. The second one's very quick. It's kind of funny if you just think about it. So in California, there's a woman named Elaine Salmon. It's spelled Salmon. It might be Salmon if it's a last name. I don't know.
Okay.
She worked at Peak to Peak Mountain Charter School as a teacher. So she was there prepping for the school year, which is coming up. Thank God. Kids are in school. And
I hate school zones.
Yeah, besides that, school zones, they already started. They started this week.
I know.
She went out of her classroom to make copies. She came back, and there's a black bear in her classroom just chilling, just like walking around.
Where's this again? I'm sorry.
In California.
Holy shit.
They're known to have bears, and apparently she's a mountain charter school. So she shut the door.
Leave the bear in?
Yeah. Called her husband. And he came in and he said, "Honey," I'm assuming he called her honey or sweetheart or something of the sort. And he said, "Let's open the door and leave and go into another room or out of the building, and he'll eventually leave." Well, 10 minutes later, the bear walked out and left. I understand that she called the husband. I understand that that's freaky. The only thing that the bear messed up was an earthquake kit, which we don't understand because we don't have earthquakes in Texas. I don't know what's in an earthquake kit. Is that like if an
bottle of water, can of food,
that kind of stuff? I don't know.
Flashlights,
help us signs. I don't know. And so what I thought was funny with the school officials. They say they are now planning on replacing the door handles with more bear-resistant more bear-resistant.
Got to do it. How did they not do that before?
It took a brown bear.
What is a
black bear?
A black bear-resistant handle look like?
That was the reason I gave this story. I don't know what they're planning on doing, but bears have been known to be able to open doors.
Then how the kids going to get in if they can't figure out the door handle?
It's true. Maybe they'll be out there with the bears. It'll be a whole shit show.
Fight back. It's a black bear.
Those are two easy stories. We're getting to the beef here.
The beef.
The beef. There is a this is great, Trey. There's a woman named Vera Liddell, probably Liddell.
It's got to be Liddell. Yeah.
68 years old. She stole $1.5 million worth of chicken wings.
Oh, shit. That's a lot of fucking chicken wings.
Yeah. But it gets worse because it makes it makes her a bad human. 11,000 cases of these, and they were meant for students during COVID.
Oh, shit.
And what I read later was that it was schools were closed for COVID, but they were sending out packages for lunch. So can you imagine, like, it's supposed that's like the meat in the package, so they open it. It's just like the celery and the carrot. They're like, this sucks. Like, what the fuck is this?
At least did they leave ranch in there for the celery and carrots?
Least, I don't. Look, bottom line is this lady, she fucked him. So the business manager near her Chicago school found the food costs were up by $300,000 over budget. And apparently she would use a cargo van and load it. And the students, no one saw a single wing. She took them all.
Damn.
So she was the head of food service at the school for 10 years. And she just got sentenced to jail for 9 years for this.
Damn, really?
Look at the amount. $1.5 million she stole.
But 9 years in jail?
9 years. She's fucked. She's 68. She's, just sit there and rot.
Wow.
Don't steal $1.5 million in chicken wings that were made for kids.
Yeah.
Right?
But 9 years.
So what do you think would a reasonable punishment be?
I could see probation, especially as old as she.
Probation?
I mean, she's 68 years old.
It's $1.5 million.
That's a lot of $1 million.
Are you interested in teaming up with this criminal to get more chicken wings?
What did she do with the wings? Did she eat them all?
I guess. I mean, is it, or maybe she distributed? I don't know, to her family.
Had like a wing eating contest or something.
She sold them. Maybe she had a wing shop out of her house.
Where was she at again? What state?
In Chicago. She's in Illinois.
Maybe she threw them in the water.
But why?
She feed birds or something.
But if she was the head of food service for 10 years, why would she not care about the children?
I want to know how many pounds of wings is $1.5 million.
It was 11,000 cases, so I don't know what that means. That's a lot of cases.
Yeah.
But what has she been doing for 10 years? What else has she been ganking? Fries?
Shit. All the glue, some markers.
She's a whole convenience store in her home of stuff. That one was funny. They're gonna get better. 2 more for you, buddy. I just can't imagine loading up a van of chicken wings, knowing that these are supposed to go for children during COVID.
How did nobody notice that? 1.5 million in wings.
She was in charge of delivery. It was probably the back of the school, and no one was going to school.
Yeah.
She was receiving the shipments, and they were supposed to box them up and ship them out to the kids or deliver them to the kids.
Yeah, but all the people that are supposed to help her box these things up, did they not realize, Vera, why are we not working where's these wings
Maybe
at?
they're in on it. Maybe who knows? But she's the one that got
Vera take the fall.
She's the one that got the 9 years. I don't think anyone else is going to step up and take responsibility. Maybe 9. I would give her 2 or 3. That's a lot of money, and that's a lot of wings, and that's a lot of kids that got celery and carrots only.
Yeah, that's some bullshit right there.
Yeah, right? Wouldn't you be if you were expecting a nice full lunch with wings, some protein, and you got nothing? You'd be pissed. And this bitch had 11,000 boxes.
She's just sitting there chewing on those wings.
Her whole kitchen is
Fuck
wings.
The kids.
That's right. So here we go. Here's the good stuff. Another airplane had to make I wouldn't say emergency landing, but a diverted landing.
Okay,
so it was going from New York to California.
Okay.
All the way across the country.
They changed their mind at the last minute.
And they ended up landing in Phoenix.
Okay, I said Albuquerque.
They had close. Albuquerque.
Deserts.
Random. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to lead up to this one. There was a passenger testimony. His name was Ethan Judelson. So we're gonna use Ethan's story because it's
funny.
Yeah, it's funny and gross. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this, and I want to ask your opinion on it. There was zero communication from the staff to the entire plane as to why they were all of a sudden landing. He said, "We're gonna." This is Captain speaking. We're going to take land in Phoenix and didn't tell anybody why. That would freak me out.
Yeah.
I think communication is important from pilot. We need to get our pilot back on.
Especially on an airplane.
Just say, you know what, there's an issue. Everything's fine.
There's an issue. I don't know.
Well, everything's fine. We're just going to land in Phoenix first. Anyway, so as soon as it landed, there's a woman that like rushed to the front of the plane, and everybody's kind of like, "What?" And then he said, This guy goes, well, we just thought she was being that bitch that runs up to get her, puts her stuff above like the first class and wants to get off the plane first, even though they're not in LA. The crew, all they said was they promised as soon as they deplaned that they would get more information. So they all waited. They deplaned. The reason that they were given was that 2 women saw lice in the woman in front of them's hair. Wow. They saw 2 bugs that they assumed was lice. And they landed in a different city because of that.
Well, how quickly could lice break out through the whole plane?
I don't know. What if it wasn't lice? What if it was like just a little fruit fly or some shit and they thought it was lice?
Some pepper.
Some pepper moving around. They claimed that it was the moving around in this woman's hair.
God damn it! Now my head's itching.
All night.
What an asshole.
So, and everybody listening, your hair is going to itch too. But there's a 12-hour delay while they cleaned. They did this whole big cleaning, and they gave them hotel vouchers, and they all basically stayed at the airport hotel in Phoenix.
Okay.
Yeah, man, party. And when they returned to the plane, and then they ended up flying to LA, and everybody had the same seats. So the 2 women that saw it were like, "We're not, I don't care how much you clean it. We don't want to sit here." And it became a big deal and whatever. Eventually, they sat there and they went to LA. Is seeing that enough to land the plane in a different, or can the flight attendant come up to the lady and say, "Can you come and like quarantine in the bathroom or something?"
She gonna make this woman sit in the toilet for
if she's got fucking lice in her hair, maybe she needs to.
But we don't know it's lice, do we?
Well, that's what I just said.
Yeah.
But so you're gonna land the plane not knowing?
No, I would assume not.
And Phoenix isn't that far from LA. Just deal with it. Just get there and check yourself when you get there, right? Or do you think this is valid? And this is why I would love to ask if anybody remembers the show with Tim, our pilot friend. But what do you think? Landing or no landing in that situation?
Depends on where I'm sitting on the plane.
If you're way up there and you're like, I don't give a shit.
Fuck no. Let's get to California. I guess if I was sitting behind her, I would be kind of grossed out, or even beside her.
Well, that's what's funny.
Damn it, now my head's itching.
The people in front of her, the people on the side of her didn't know. It was the 2 ladies went and told the flight attendant. And then the flight attendant kind of pulled that woman aside. And I think that's either one. I don't know who rushed when they landed. I don't know if it was a woman that was accused of having the lice. That remember when somebody rushed up. So I don't know. But anyway, plane lands because of lice.
I guess I'm not surprised these days, though.
All right, this is the last story I've got for you. And this poor guy. This man is lucky to be alive after tripping over his cat.
Okay.
He's 59. His name is Chris Rowley. He's UK in the United Kingdom.
If you will.
This writer, I have to give props to. I'm sorry I didn't find your name. He made a lot of kind of puns, which were really funny. He said it was a cat-astrophic. Catastrophic injuries.
I see what you did there.
He had a broken neck. I'm going to tell you what happened. But he had a broken neck, a fractured spine, smashed ribs, blood in his lungs, and other car crash-style injuries.
Damn, over tripping over a cat? Did he trip and fall out the window?
I can't remember. I just remember tripping and falling. He's a professional musician. And this guy says the freak Apocalypse Meow. Apocalypse Now. Let's see what he did there. Look, I'm giving him props. This is a hairless Sphinx cat, which I hate those fucking things anyway, right?
Yeah, those are creepy.
They're creepy looking. And he named him, he gave him a full name. The cat's name is Eric McComb. Yeah. Right?
Because he looked like an Eric, huh?
So what happened was he was walking to the stairwell, and this cat pounced from nowhere onto his leg as like a play, because he was young. He's like not a kitten, but like he's still in his play phase.
Yeah.
And he turned and fell down 14 steps.
And did that much damage? Fuck.
Well, 14 steps. And this guy goes, he put the hell in Hello Kitty. I'm telling you, this writer.
Wow.
So he was laying for 14 hours, 14 steps, 14 hours, because his wife worked overnight for children care, like overnight. And he was laying in pools of his own blood. Damn. His phone was dead. Of course it was, right? And he couldn't move or get up.
So this was in a house, I'm assuming?
In his house.
Okay.
And so what I thought, and this is where I shouldn't be laughing, but when the wife came in the next morning, the cat was like stomping on him. And he claims the cat was doing that all night.
Oh my God.
So what is wrong with this cat?
Right.
First off. And second off, why was he stomping?
Is there video of this?
Of course there's no video because he was by himself and no one filmed it. So he was 2 weeks in the trauma unit, and the doctor said in 6 to 12 months he may be back on his feet from his cat.
Did they get rid of the cat?
He said the seizures aren't helping.
Oh my God.
And he has to have an oxygen tank at home for now. He said, unfortunately, he's lost a lot because he's like I said, a professional musician. He's unable to tour.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that you would be unable to tour in this situation.
But nothing in there about if he kept the cat.
Oh, yeah. By the way, it's a GoFundMe to help. I just threw my notes, but I forget his fucking name. Go back and listen if you want to. Go fund him. He said he still loves his kitty and would never think of getting rid of it. So there's pictures, and he's in the hospital like fucked up. Like you would guess that a train hit him, and it's because his cat just jumped on his leg.
God damn.
So I couldn't pass that story up because it's just like anyway.
That's a beat really right there.
I want you real quick to tell me about. Was it the last show or the show before we talked about the bronze medal gymnastics and how the Romanian young lassie, I'm trying to pull my Scottish out, had won it for Romania, and then the U.S. had challenged it, paid their $300.
Right.
We talked about, swiped it, and it overturned it, put the United States girl in third, knocked the Romanian out after she was already celebrating and hugging.
But did you know Romania was 4th and 5th after that?
But they had 2.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, they were actually 3rd and 4th.
Anyway. But either way, you're telling me there's an update, and I didn't know about it.
You didn't know about the update?
I did not know about it, and I want you to tell us because, like I said, anybody that doesn't remember the story, this girl won bronze, wasn't expected to win. She hugged her team. She hugged her family. It was her life dream. She won a medal for Romania. Used to be good at gymnastics, not so much anymore, but they're still up there. And she won bronze. The U.S. challenged it like in football or something and said, I think that was miscalculated. And they overturned it and moved the 5th place American into third and knocked her out.
Yeah.
In case you missed that part. And now you're saying that they gave it back to her.
So I heard on the radio, and I didn't realize this is how gymnastics work. They talk about the moves that they're going to try to pull off in their routine, and they give them a base score based on those moves that they're trying to pull off.
Okay.
Difficulty, all that kind of good stuff. Well, they said that the American had a move in there that was supposed to be 0.3 points and was only given 0.1. So they challenged it and overturned it, which gave her the more points and bumped her up. So apparently you're only allowed to challenge a minute after the routine or after the score comes out before it posts.
You have 1 minute.
1 minute to go in.
It's pretty fast.
And challenge it. So the IOC came back and said that they were 3 seconds over that 1 minute limit.
3 seconds.
And overturned it, giving the Romania young lady back
the
bronze medal.
But did what's her name already have the medal like physically?
Yeah, so that's another thing. There's like, so what are you going to do? Box up the medal, or you're going to say, hey, or come get it?
It's so awkward.
But somebody on the American side is saying they've got footage claiming they turned it in within 47 seconds of.
So this isn't over.
So I don't know if it's over or not, but yeah, they've already said they're going to have a little ceremony for the Romanian gymnast for this.
Well, they better hurry because apparently it may come back again to the other one.
So, little side note, you know who Flavor Flav is, right?
Of course, Flavor Flav.
So Flavor Flav has designed a special bronze medal for this USA gymnast to send to her. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm assuming it has something to do with a big clock. Bronze medal.
I was going to say, doesn't it? Yeah.
So yeah,
just in case she doesn't get it because they're claiming she might not.
I'm assuming it's official.
Okay, I thought you said they may go back and say.
I mean, like I said, they claim that it's 47 seconds, but the way it's making it sound, it's official. So,
all right, well,
why don't they just give them both bronze medals and
call it a day? Well, that was what the dispute was with the high jump.
Yeah. Would you share a gold medal?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Just to say you have a gold medal.
Would you, in the high jump, there were 2 men left, one from the United States and one from New Zealand. I guess they sent one competitor.
Yeah.
Out of their 15 person population. And he was a high jump, and he was good. And he was ready for gold. He just had to hit one more jump. And he either tripped or he got tired or something, and he didn't even try to jump. He just fell under the thing. And
that was hilarious.
It was pretty funny. I saw it. And they tied. So after all the jumps. So they could have both taken gold and shared it.
Yeah.
Or jump and
jump off.
Of course the jump off. Of course the American was like, let's jump. Let's do this. Let's jump. And I think he might have thought that the other guy was getting tired because he couldn't make that jump. Yeah.
He just bit it.
Yeah.
I would do it too.
So I don't know. Maybe the New Zealand guy was fucking with him because he just crushed him in the back.
Did a front flip somersault.
Got gold. Paused in midair and was like,
fuck you.
Yeah. So he won gold, and then I think we were talking earlier about how we tied with China.
Tied with China for gold, yeah.
And if they had just taken the split gold, we would have won the gold as well.
Yeah.
But I always said we all around, and we kicked ass and all around. So
yeah. Did you know? This was an interesting fact. 65% of the gold medals, or of the medals, I probably should have verified that, came from women.
For the United States.
For the United States, sorry.
Good for them.
So the ladies brought it.
Did they have XY chromosomes?
Well, I'm starting to think, the USA women's basketball team won. So what other big group?
The soccer team won.
The soccer team? Oh, they won gold?
Yeah, they finally, it had been a while, and they dominated for so many years, and they finally won it, which was great.
Okay.
I think they beat Brazil, and it was just like 1-0, but it was good. I watched a little bit of that.
That helps when 2 teams win. So
yeah, and there were some track guys at the end in the last couple of days that ended up winning.
We're talking about the ladies, not the guys.
Oh, that's right, the lady. That's right. Well, no, the ladies too. They did the baton.
Okay,
the handoff, the relay. Sorry, and they just destroyed. I mean, it was like a whole track length by the end of it. They just
like it.
I swear that she turned around and she was like, fuck you. They all dominated.
Yeah.
It was cool to watch. I mean, it was just pure dominance. So that was good. But anyway, Olympics are over, and I heard the closing ceremony was underwhelming again. Some sort of space age.
Snoop was supposed to perform during the
did he? Well, maybe it would have been cool. I didn't see it. Somebody told me that people are now calling it satanic.
Oh no!
Maybe you'll get a story on that in the next show. I have not.
I know it was Snoop, Billie Eilish, and Red Hot Chili Peppers. I think were the 3 that I heard.
That's an interesting combo. Yeah. I like it. Old. I mean, Chili Peppers are getting up there, but I like it.
Yeah.
Snoop's up there. Eilish is very, very young.
Very not up there.
So that would be cool. So let's talk about. There's a young lady, and this is a very, very quick story, Trey. And it's so silly, but she's like trending, and like everybody's talking about this. Her name is Skai. I'm assuming it's pronounced Sky. It's Skai. Skai would be the only other way, and I don't think it's that.
I bet it's Sky,
probably Skai. Jackson. Easy. I can say Jackson. She was arrested. Do you know who this is?
No, you told me not to look it up.
You're supposed to tell people that. She's 22 years old, and she was a former star on Disney shows like Jessie. Have you heard of that show on Disney?
No.
Bunked, which was a Jessie spinoff. These are all Disney shows in the last. She's 22, so this was like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And so she was also on Dancing with the Stars, which I know you watch. You frequently watch that.
I stopped watching that.
So she was doing, I don't know what she's working on, but there's some project. And so she was at Universal Studios, and the police were called by the studios after the security detained her and put her in a room, and surveillance cameras showed, once the police got there, that she pushed her boyfriend while they were in the dressing room. And so she was arrested on domestic battery because she pushed him.
I'm curious to know how big the boyfriend is, because it says here she's only 5'2".
Does it matter if you push somebody? Is that domestic battery? I mean, I read it and I looked, Trey. I looked at 10, and I don't use the word literally 10 sources, if not more, trying to look for just more information, and it all said the same thing.
Just a push.
She pushed him. One of them said she pushed him twice. She's 5, like you said. She's very tiny. And so they got her on a misdemeanor domestic battery charges. She was taken in and released. No weapons, no injuries. She was released hours later, and the boyfriend and her both said nothing happened. We had a disagreement, and we love each other, and we're about to have a baby. Apparently, that's how they broke the. I think that's how they broke the news. They were pregnant.
So somebody else, I'm assuming, heard it, reported it.
Yeah,
because it wasn't the guy that did it that reported it. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean that's the only. Somebody heard it going on, or somebody saw it on a surveillance camera. Which, by the way, why do you have a camera in the dressing room?
Right.
Which is interesting, but this is just a story. I looked for more, and I got nothing, and that's why I'm telling you this. It's Skai Jackson for pushing her boyfriend, domestic abuse.
That's pretty crazy.
People have gotten it for a lot more.
Do you think he got slapped when he got home for her having to go to jail?
Probably. Is it okay? You and I had a conversation. Is it ever okay to hit a woman if she pushes you? Do you punch her? Just kidding. Story over. Yeah, I mean, it made no sense to me, but for some reason, it was just all over everything, and so I wanted to bring it up on the show for people in case they didn't get a chance to hear what a fantastic story that was. I'm gonna talk quickly about this woman named Tina Peters. I know you're excited.
Tina Peters.
She is a Republican who did bad. So people that want to tell me that I only talk positively about the right, Donald Trump, etc., etc., that is not true. This woman, she was convicted, so I can't yell at anything. I'm not sitting here saying that they were wrong. I mean, I don't know how hard they were on her, but maybe a little extra hard. But she was known for being a huge election denier. In 2020, a lot of people thought that the election was stolen, right? She was consumed by it. Apparently, people closest to her, she just wouldn't give it up. She just
really.
So now she was charged with a security breach. She used someone else's security badge to give an expert, whatever that means, access to the Mesa, which is I think the county in Arizona, the Mesa County. The county in Arizona, election system, and she was deceiving about the person's identity. So she was basically using badges that she had grabbed or stolen, giving them to these people to get into the facility to research and try and figure out the systems. And this is a lot later. I mean, this is how many years later? It's 4 years later, after the election, right? And so I think this was in 2022. And so I guess a couple of years later, and it's finally coming. It's finally, the courts finally got to it, I guess. But so it was 3 counts of attempting to influence public servants, conspiracy to commit criminal impersonation, and a violation of duty and failing to comply with the Secretary of State. She was not guilty, however, of identity theft. I'm sorry that bored you for about 20 seconds, everybody. But those are what she's being. And there was just tons more, and I stopped. I was like, I don't. She did a lot of stuff, and her biggest issue, which we can get into a discussion about briefly, is the Dominion systems.
Not familiar with that at all, no.
Okay, so the Dominion voting system was a voting system used back in 2020, and it just so happened, and people, shut the fuck up, I'm not conspiracy, I'm not saying anything, I'm saying what the accusation was that all the Dominion machines were having issues at the same time, and they were in, just so happened to be, most all the swing states. And those are the ones where you were seeing votes come in the middle of the night, 300,000 at a time for Joe Biden. And that's what got people kind of talking, going, And
Did
Georgia,
they use these systems elsewhere?
No, it was mostly in all the I think Colorado was probably the only non-swing state because it is a Colorado-based company, I believe. But it was Georgia, Arizona. I mean, it was all these neutral battleground states. Ohio, I think, used it. And it was a huge issue. And they just so happened in the middle of the night to not be working correctly and this and that. And so I thought, for me, people claim, I say people, what I've researched claim that they've done enough investigation that there wasn't anything there. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much was really done. I'm one of those people that I don't think I kind of have a hard time believing that Joe Biden got that many votes.
Well, but I'm not gonna work.
I'm not gonna like freak out like this lady.
Well, how do these machines work?
You and I aren't going on a stealth mission into the.
Do you like put a piece of paper in for your vote? Do you type in for your vote? How does it work?
Thank you. I'm not a Dominion employee. Or a salesman for the system. I believe it's a electronic fully. That's what I think.
So you go in, type your response, and it's electronic?
Yes. And gotcha. So what happens is that you hit it. Is your vote really going where you're pushing, or did they program it to where that button actually goes somewhere else? And I think that was the issue. Again, as always, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's my understanding of it, was that it was all digital.
So what kind of voting system would work to where we can rely on no fat fingering, no manual fuck up, no conspiracy about hacking into a computer database? What kind of, what would work?
Do you want to know the honest answer?
Yeah.
Literally a paper ballot where you hand it to somebody and they count it, and you've got 50 witnesses. You know what I mean? It's so silly. It would take a month, if not long. That's the only 100%, because people can hack, people can scan with computer, with technology. The paper thing, who knows what that does when you slide? That's how I've done it. Is you slide that, you check mark everything, and then it gives you a slip that you did, and you slide it through the.
Like, would you have an official, let's say, Democrat and a Republican representative for each voting station?
Maybe.
Just to
maybe
say, okay, well, if it fucks up, well, you got Democrat and Republican sitting there fucking it up.
The only problem there is that if some Republicans aren't Trump fans and some Democrats aren't Kamala fans. So you're sitting there going, okay, what are the qualifications to be that person? Are they going to be paid? Most of them are volunteer. It's just fucked up that we can't have an election where we just kind of trust. And that's why the topic that you and I will talk about soon, hopefully, because we brought it up before. You've brought it up before, Trey. Did you know that?
I didn't. You
brought up what will happen, or what would happen if Trump had been successful at ending his life. What happens at the end of the election? So if Trump loses, is everybody going to
be okay with that?
Freak out and like step up because they're going to believe that he really won again? And look, there's a lot of Trump supporters and Second Amendment people that, Elon Musk predicting civil war. We talked about it. Would it get that bad? Are we that close? And that's something we'll talk about. We won't do it tonight, but It's just an interesting question. What if Kamala wins? Is the left going to burn cities down because they're so pissed about Donald being their president again?
Yeah.
Or are people going to finally step up and say, stop burning our cities down? We're going to arrest you. You can't loot because you're mad at who won the election. So I just think it's an interesting question. What's going to happen after November 5th? We're getting close. This is
maybe I need to travel somewhere.
Yeah. And that was another thought was, okay, what do you do if there's do you stay here? Do you take a side? Do you go somewhere? Do you try and get out of the country? But how many people are going to be trying to do that?
That's something I was found interesting. Like, who gives a shit type interesting. When these,
we'll definitely bring it up on the show then.
When these celebrities come out of nowhere and officially endorse somebody, what does that matter? I don't understand that.
Well, I've officially endorsed Donald Trump, so
that's what I'm saying. Like, it
doesn't. It's
these celebrities.
You're making it known. You're making it known.
Who cares?
Look, I'm with you. I'm with you, and that's why I kind of joke about me endorsing, because who cares? Some people might, but most people don't.
I guess if you're only voting based on a celebrity's endorsement, then you're voting for the wrong reason.
And don't get me wrong, our old friend Taylor Swift is going to be used here pretty soon. So I hear for Kamala, and they're hoping to get the Swifties rolling. And something Trump has to battle is the celebrity in the media. He always has. Hopefully there are enough people that go, look, I might like Taylor's music, but who gives a shit what she thinks about this? So there's that. I have a quick Serena Williams bit. Not a bit, but a quick little tidbit about her. And I liked the sisters when they first kind of were young and came on the scene.
I saw their biopic.
So good.
Yeah.
You saw the bio. So good. Their dad was, they were so dominant. And but I feel like Serena's gotten a little bit too big for her britches. Is that a word that have you heard that? My mom used to say.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Too big for her britches. And it's because during the Paris Olympics, she was with her kids and her husband. I think they're married.
Oh,
either way, her spouse.
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
And she was walking around and they were going to go to dinner at a very, very high scale restaurant in the middle of all the sites. And they said, sorry, we're full tonight, and turned her away. And she immediately got on Twitter /X, Elon, I won't disappoint you, and said, I've been turned away for many reasons, but it's interesting to get turned away when there's all these empty seats. And they responded to her. The restaurant said, well, first off, the empty seats you were seeing was not part of the bar you were asking to sit in out on the patio. That was a different restaurant, and they were fully reserved. At any moment, they were going to be sat. The bar you wanted to be in was at full capacity. We didn't turn you away for any other reason. Why would we do that?
Especially somebody of her stature, you would think.
But that's the point. Is she saying this because she thinks she's Serena Williams and she should get special treatment?
Yeah.
Or is she just bitching? Or was there really a need to go on there? I mean, go down in France. How many restaurants you got over there? Come on.
Well, especially being
it's
Serena
all cheese
Williams.
And bread anyway.
Yeah, it's good cheese and bread.
That sounds good, doesn't it? Let's go to Paris on our world tour just for cheese and bread.
Yeah, some of the pastries too.
But I just thought it was interesting. Is that what the story you heard?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who cares if you're Serena Williams? You gotta wait. You shouldn't get a table, right? Or am I wrong?
I would say no, but I mean, you would think any restaurant would want to figure out a way to get somebody in with her stature into the restaurant. But this is during the Olympics, right? So I can imagine everything was fucking packed.
But why? But why? I've always wondered, why do they get? Is it just because
it's like somebody coming out and endorsing the politician? It's just just for publicity. She could have easily jumped on Twitter and said, "Hey, check out this restaurant I just ate at. It was amazing."
True. True.
And so,
but she just seemed it was like she was going at him But anyway, I got excited when I lived in Glasgow, Scotland, when I went to a restaurant and they said, you're sitting in the exact same seat 2 days ago that Scarlett Johansson was sitting.
Oh, how'd this smell?
It was beautiful. No matter what, it really smelled like.
But it makes you wonder also if a bigger star came in, because I don't know how big Serena is anymore.
Yeah. You old school. Get out of here.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have, I don't want to throw race into it, but I mean, like you have Taylor Swift walk up in there, or, Jay-Z or something to that effect. That's still, or even not Nas, but Kanye West. You see Kanye come.
Yeah.
Would they have made room for somebody of his stature? So
I'm gonna just side with the restaurant and say that they were full, and just because you're Serena Williams, okay, you can wait, but we're kids
still full.
And, we're still full. I mean, where do you want to sit? These are reserved, and look. Maybe they should have made room for her, but did she need to go on Twitter? That's my point. And call the restaurant.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call them out because there's no reason to call them out. I'm not Serena. I didn't get denied. If you and I will go over there and we get turned down, Twitter, get ready.
Stay in the gray was not allowed to eat at this restaurant.
All right, I'm going to end the quote tonight.
Let's see
if you've heard it before.
Yeah.
The question is not how many years are in your life, but how much life is in your years. God damn it. Are you ever going to not laugh at my quotes?
That sounds like the one you did last one.
Was it the last one?
It was how many breaths you take, but how many moments take your breath away.
Same thing. All right, fine. I'll give you another one since you're not happy.
Do it.
I have 2 minutes left. A life spent making mistakes is not only most honorable, but more useful than a life spent doing nothing.
Okay.
That's a good one.
That's fine.
Yeah, everyone leave with that.
Good job.
Leave with that, and I guess apparently don't think about the last one because Trey thinks it's stupid. See you next time.
Later.
Love you guys. 57 minutes.
No bias here, just the facts and the fair. We look at both sides, do our best to compare. In this podcast realm where we compromise, balance is key and the facts don't lie. Stay in the gray where perspectives intertwine. We seek the truth in the gray we define. In this podcast journey, minds open wide. Shades the truth on this impartial ride.
I'm surprised you didn't make reference to the modern mullet look. I don't know if you know that was the name of this hairstyle. It's called
your hairstyle?
Modern mullet.
I think it looks sharp.
Sharp?
Yeah. I mean, it looks lazy, but it looks like it's clean lazy.
Clean lazy.
Yeah. Look, mine's everywhere. I like what you're doing. You need to keep it going.
We'll try it. Okay.
Yeah. I just want to know.
Clean lazy.
How I haven't heard any stories about the orgies in the Olympic Village.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm looking for those. Look for those. Everybody, look for those and let me know because somebody's got to get diseases or something. We got to find out some sex stories.
Yeah.
Right? That's what.
We got to find it.
That's all I care about the Olympics. Yeah. All right. That wasn't the best. See you later.
Later.